Hello and welcome to Podcasting Made Easy. My name is Steve Hart. Now, how many downloads does each episode of your podcast get, I wonder? 10, 20, 50, 100? Well, if you're consistently seeing numbers north of 300, you're doing extremely well. Better than most, in fact. To put that into perspective, data from podcast host Libsyn suggests that if an episode receives more than 124 downloads within its first 30 days, it already sits above the median. In fact, many podcasts never reach 1,000 downloads for the episode at all. Yes, we can all point to shows with audiences in the millions, but those examples distort our expectations. Even the biggest names didn't arrive overnight. What can look like sudden success is usually the result of years, sometimes decades of steady output. So what actually matters? Well, back in 2008, Kevin Kelly, a founding editor of Wired magazine, proposed that creators don't need a massive audience at all to earn a living. His argument was simple. If you can find 1,000 people who genuinely value your work and are willing to support it, you can build something really quite sustainable. That idea has been debated ever since because reaching and keeping 1,000 committed supporters isn't easy. It demands consistency, quality and ongoing engagement with your listeners. It's work and frankly it's closer to a full-time commitment than a casual hobby. Still, the maths is striking. If 1,000 supporters each spend an average of £2 or $2 a week, that adds up to around $100,000 a year in income, not from huge audiences or viral hits, but from a relatively small group of people contributing modestly and regularly to your content. That's what makes the idea so appealing. You don't need to dominate the charts, chase algorithms or secure sponsors. You just need people who care enough to stick around and support what you're making. At that point, listeners stop being just numbers. They become part of a shared project, invested in the work and in the person behind it. That's you, of course. And you don't even need thousands to see the value. 100 committed listeners can already make something very worthwhile, particularly if you're working in a niche you genuinely enjoy. Which raises the next question. How long does it all take to get there? Well, based on my research, you need to keep your podcast going for between 1 and 2 years. That's the time it takes to earn trust with your listeners, refine your voice and your content, and build a dependable audience alongside a large group of casual listeners who come and go. And to do this, you need to publish regularly, ideally at least once a week, if not twice a week, and not when it's convenient and not when motivation strikes, which is a bit like me. But you need to be absolutely consistent in your delivery of your podcasts. And the reality is that many podcasts don't make it past 6 months. A year can feel like a long time when results aren't immediate, and plenty of shows do stop before they even find their audience. So it helps to be honest with yourself from the start. If your goal is to build a following and eventually earn an income from your podcast, think of it in terms of years, not weeks or months. And if your goal is simply to enjoy the process, well, that's fine too. Keep going, have fun with your podcast, and if it grows into something more, well, all the better. My name is Steve Hart. I'm the host of Podcasting Made Easy. I'm also the author of the Podcasting Made Easy book that you can buy wherever you buy your books. And do please subscribe to the YouTube podcast, and you can find the audio version on any of the normal podcasting platforms. And if you have any questions about making a podcast, well, do let me know. Put your questions in the comments below and I'll answer them in a subsequent podcast. Okay, I'll see you next time.